Quick second I tear my eyes off the dark-haired man before me, glancing toward the jeep in the vain hope that someone else is seeing him, You are very strong, Earthwalker, comes the deep voice behind me. What the hell? I whirl on Liam, angry and happy and uncertain if I even want to see him, now that he's here in the flesh. Why wasn't he here sooner? Why couldn't he have stopped my mom from writing me off as a crazy person? Not so good bait for summoning Selkies, Liam observes with a calm nod at the shrimp. He reaches into the half-frozen bag and lifts a red crustacean to eye level. He gives it a sniff, and then, tail and all, it disappears down his gullet. Are good though. He flashes a pearly smile. You came back, I say more for myself than him, then pinch my forearm for good measure. It hurts, so I'm not curled up dreaming in the passenger seat or anything. When I turn my attention back onto the Selkie, the man is still standing there before me, naked and glistening with the salt of the sea. He wipes blood onto the back of his hand, and in turn wipes that onto his bare thigh. He stretches his arms high over his head and takes in the impressive ocean view. Myself, I try not to let my gaze linger on his lanky muscles. My home, Liam announces, waving his clean hand. My territory. No question I am here. Have always been here. Yes, I mutter. He could have swung by way before everyone thought I was having a mental breakdown. Liam cants his head. Judging by his expression, he's amused. One long, webbed finger jabs my shoulder. Came out because you seem a different kind of loon tonight. Is there a good kind of loon? I ask tartly, gripping my blanket tight. On the cusp of winter, there's no warmth to be had in the wind. Liam's head bobs. Oh yes, he says, somehow impervious to the drawing night's breeze. White-spotted ones come to sea for the winter. Very pretty voices, but not as pretty as mine. I purse my lips in a cross mixture of a frown and thin smile. You know why I'm still here. He settles into the sand. Using a finger, he sketches out a shoddy ship beside him. You want to know about the man on the ship, Christopher. At his expectant pause, I recline beside him, offering him a piece of blanket. He declines. What happened to him? He watches me through those unusually perceptive eyes. You are a young lady to be this interested in a man from years past. Not a widow. I am thinking you claim kinship. My brother, I affirm, fingering the hem of the cheap fleece. If he's alive, yeah. He is. Though the night carries no warmth, a fire flares in the depths of my heart. My spine straightens. I lean closer. Where? I whisper, as if this was a secret and not something I wanted to shout to the world. But a bigger question lurks in my mind, one that overshadows all else, one that tempers my relief and excitement. Why hasn't he come home? Liam picks sand from his nails. He fidgets in a way I find worrisome, like my query makes him uncomfortable. Never spoke of home. Does not speak much at all. My brother not a talker. Every time he came home, the man told tales bigger than a whale, and he never spoke of me or mom or much of anything. For a moment the dejected thought crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't Chris after all. Maybe he was someone else, another man on the ship that got confused, and Liam takes my silence for the confusion it is. He is damaged, he continues in a summer tone. Not so good with words, not so good with memories, but he has made a fine seal husband for Sorcha. Many kids they have, good pups, very keen, much loved in their clan. It takes me several minutes to process what's happened. You mean they aren't with you? I finally ask, trying to work my brain through 10 years of his other life. Alive, married, and with children. What was I supposed to do with that? Everyone thought he lost his life, but he's had one all along. I spent years mourning him when I could have been searching for him, trying to help him. Liam cannot possibly understand my struggles, but he pats my knee gently. Sorcha left some years ago for warmer waters. Not one for cold she is, even with a husband to keep her warm. But Chris, he's alive. I rub my neck, stumbling through my thoughts. There's so much I want to ask, and yet I don't know where to begin. And how is he living with a Selkie? Sorcha rescued him. Sorcha took him. He is hers now. He's human. So am I when I want. Sorcha made him one of us. Your brother would be fish food if not. Selkies have not many powers, but very good at healing we are. I whistle my disbelief. And you can just do that, make somebody a Selkie. It takes a curious kiss. Liam's dark eyebrows rise. His fingers brush the sand-ridden blanket. Would you like to see for yourself? I balk from him. Will it turn me into a seal? His laughter rumbles into the early evening. Need a pelt for that, but I would not kiss you anyway. How rude. I'm not sure why I feel a bit affronted, but I cross my arms beneath the blanket and huff anyway. Somehow knowing Chris is alive and well, even if he isn't in the best condition, took from my shoulders a weight I didn't realize had been so heavy. I look up at the first stars and find relief that somewhere beneath them, my brother still has the breath in his body to breathe in the night. I've got nice lips, I argue, tracing my bottom lip with my tongue. And I hear I'm a good kisser. What's wrong with me? Amused, Liam gives my back a sympathetic pat. If you are not being born Selkie, it is very rare you become one. Many of us, we only have magic to bring one person into the sea. I have been saving mine in case I take a human wife. You certainly aren't going to get one of those if you keep acting so unreliable, I point out. He shrugs. If I was looking for a wife, I would have more manners. I roll my eyes, but there's something infectious in the jolly smile Liam passes my way. Once you give it to someone, are they a selkie forever? At this, Liam scratches his chin. Arms folded across his knees, he surveys the ocean waters. Earthwalkers and selkies share much bad blood. Stealing skins so we cannot go home and must live with men forever. Stealing infants from fathers in the night. If you take our skin, you can make us human. If we take our gift from you, we can make you human again. Skins are special, very special magic. Only the one who gives the kiss may set you free. Since they are being so special, we give this to ones we love or not at all. We do not let love go so easy or willing. Not any better than you. So I guess asking to borrow yours is out of the question, I sigh. If I took a seal wife already, I would not mind so much giving away the spare. Liam runs his hand through his wet hair. Mine was for someone special. Mine was someone special. Was? I ask, picking up on his summer tone. The cry of a late gull distracts Liam momentarily. When he turns back to me, he's on his feet. How special is your brother to you? He asks. Selkies cannot travel beyond beach sand unless our skins are stolen. It is hard to give land for the sea. Electronics do not work there. I crack a real smile. So if my mom never came to the beach, she'd never know the truth about me or Chris. I pause, wringing my hands beneath the blanket. You know, if I happen to convince a selkie to give me a kiss, Liam offers me his hand. There's a whole world that can love you, adventures and people and creatures of your wild dreams, but this is a jealous curse, Earthwalker. The selkie that takes your lips is the only one who can free you. It is easy to say all will be well. Harder to do it. Fine, I decide, letting him pull me up. The blanket slips from my back and onto the ground, but I don't reach for it. Tell me where Chris is and I'll boat there myself. Even if I knew, what good will it do? We are very good at hiding, even better protecting ourselves. You will call to the sea for years and never find them. Come on, I insist, and suddenly I realize he's been walking me steadily towards the rocks. I find it hard to believe you're as rare as unicorns. Liam's attention lingers firmly between barnacles and stones. As we reach the beach's end, he skips up on the slick surface like it's firm footing and lets up a rock. Something plush and dark is in the hand he pulls away with, and it is his pelt. He rests on his hip as he stares down at me. You have met many selkie. That shuts me up right quick. And I don't mind, because he stoops from a second stash and pulls out a soft silver skin, dappled blue-gray in the rising moonlight. In a short hop he's back before me, holding out the second treasure. This is Aoife. He lets me thumb the soft material, and I am quick to let him know the honor it is to be allowed to hold something so precious. She was a good friend of mine many years. Took care of me as pup. At my hands recoil, he's quick to carry on. Sealskin comes with hefty price. She was 40 decades when she passed. He says, holding the eyeless pelt with humble reverence, she was for my wife. Was? I ask again, feeling that hopeful flash fill my veins. I did not take one this summer. There will not be beautiful humans on the beach until the sea's warm. He looks from the beautiful hide to me, and in that look something unreadable crosses his brown eyes. I could loan this to you for a price. And what's that? I ask slowly. Teach me more of being human. In case I want to give my wife my pelt and walk the earth like you creatures. That's sweet. He shrugs off my observation and focuses again on Aoife's gorgeous skin. I tell you I am well behaved when I want. I would not want to be embarrassing her. And you're okay with me? I search for the appropriate term, but there's none to be had. Wearing Aoife. He nods almost reluctantly. She was family. She would do anything for us. She would have helped you find yours. Speaking of family, I glance back at the Jeep. I'll be right back, I say. I need to leave a note for my mom. So you want this? He asks, touching my cheek, searching my eyes for the truth. There's nothing I can do but agree. My big brother is somewhere out there. He's haunted me all these years. I can't walk away now. Nothing of us, Liam warns as I turn for the Jeep. Say anything, but nothing of us. When I return from scrawling a small note in my car and texting Mom that I was on my own personal walkabout for a couple months and not to be afraid, I find Liam with his toes buried in the sand. Rippled moonlight and white foam wash over the tops of his ankles. In his arms he carries two pelts, the darker skin of his own and Aoife's silvered one. How does this work? I ask him, too determined and curious to let myself think more logically about this. I am throwing away college. Temporarily, but months of a break could really hurt all my plans, make me start over from scratch. And if I found Chris. And then there was Chris. What would I do with him? Would I tear him from his wife and children? Would I even be able to convince him who I was? How damaged was he, and was any part of my brother still in there? Liam can't see any of my doubts as he gestures down at his body with a smile and a chuckle. You see how I am? I stare, confused. He just laughs again and tosses me the fur. Naked. There's something oddly refreshing as I strip off my clothes, a nagging feeling of voyeurism and being more adventurous in one night than I have been my entire life. I've never done anything like this before and I'm not confident about it now, sliding my cotton underwear off my hips. But it is exhilarating to be so free underneath the glowing moon. In the moment I'm so caught up with feeling that fears of Liam seeing me bearing it all stay out of my mind. The man is splashing through the surf as I kick off my damp socks to join him. His own pelt is wrapped now around his shoulders against the blustering winter wind. When he turns, I've already gathered Aoife's skin into my arms, the soft fur sliding against my bare front like velvet. His eyes meet mine across the waves. All at once, I feel vulnerable and exposed, but with the wind biting my cheeks, both pairs of them, I find myself ignoring those inner warnings that I've gone mad, and I start to feel embarrassed. He's a handsome man, and he's seeing me naked, and in my short life, I've never done anything naked with anyone, let alone get close enough to kiss. Being scared makes it harder to breathe, Liam says. His wide brown eyes remain focused on mine despite the distraction I feel my body could be. Ignoring everything below my neck, he holds out his webbed hand. With a deep breath, I wade into the shock of ice water, until the waves push against my chin. I walk until I can do no more than grip the skin and float. The idea of romance drowns the second the icy water numbs my hands. Liam, though, his hands still retain their heat. I will try not to fall in love with you, he says, brushing my soaked hair back. I know you do not want forever. Just the winter, I chatter through my gritted teeth. Aoife's skin sticks against my shoulders. In this moment, the only thing I can do is trust a stranger. I really am mad, but I really can't stop myself from trusting him. Just the winter, he promises, smoothing the silvered pelt patiently. You can't fall in love with someone in a couple months, I continue. Breathe deep, he suggests in a husky voice. His hands find my shoulders. With my faint nod, he pulls me beneath the wind to the dark beyond. Against the sting of salt, I open my eyes. There is nothing between us but bubbles, and then Liam's lips slip against mine. He holds me firmer, finds my mouth again. The little air we have left becomes shared. Then he's gone, and I am alone with burning lungs and a body screaming for the surface. I kick for the night sky, but my legs don't work. Aoife's skin has suctioned to them, wrapped around my body so tight I can't move. Just as terror spikes my heart, something electric blue winks up from the gloomy bubbles. And then another spark of blue lights the water and another, until I am surrounded by spiraling, bioluminescent creatures. A strange, wonderful sensation washes over me, fills my lungs with peace and comfort. The twinkling lights scatter around me, dispersing as quick as they arrived, and then there is nothing but wide brown eyes waiting for me in the clear, glowing water. Liam, a great gray seal, moves around me with a fluid grace, pushing me along the kelp bed, urging me to use my new body. He nudges my neck with his head, opens his mouth, and nips at my throat in an affectionate, intimate gesture. Something races through my heart, and I want to bump my head against his chin, but I resist the urge. I have to find Chris, I tell myself, nosing Liam along as if I'd done it 100 times before. No one falls in love over one winter. No one falls in love in one night. You might fall in other things, but never love, no. Especially not with a man that had me flinging frozen shrimp into the ocean like a lunatic. But with these new eyes, I see a different world before me, calling me forward, asking me to give him a chance. In a smooth motion, Liam leads me on into the night to dive into the wild, and I can't help but think that sometimes it's only when we're grown that we figure out who we really want to be. But maybe, I think as my new body twists and darts after Liam, maybe it doesn't take a lifetime to figure out who we want to be with. End.